everyone, welcome to another episode of NAIJATOAMERICA. On this episode, we'll be covering how to apply to schools in North America. We've done a video on this before, but it's a new year, it's a new us. We're doing a refresher. And we just feel like there's more to cover. And as you all know, we launched our consulting services this year.
Shout out to our clients if you're watching.
Yes, hi. But while working with people, we realized that there's benefits to going back to this topic. So here we are. Hope you learn something new and stay tuned for more episodes like this.
All right. So let's get started. So as you said, we launched our consulting service, and I feel like there's a lot that goes into that process that a lot of people don't necessarily always take into consideration. So you have the grand idea that it's about that time. I want to go do my master's.
I want to go to the university.
Yeah. I'm tired of my job. I just want to leave this country.
Yeah, this job
or I
really
want to do a master's. I think this is the right time. And you can just say, oh, I want to do a master's, but you don't necessarily know what goes into that process. So that's really the idea of the video. So first thing I would say is decide a major, decide what you want to study. So you probably have an idea of what you want to study. If you are not sure, I would say maybe give it some time to be absolutely sure, because a master's, especially in the US, or in the US or even Canada, where it's like 2 years or a year and some months, it's an investment of your time, an investment of your resources. You don't want to go through a program and realize that you made a wrong choice. Or you wasted your time. So take your time, decide on what you want to study. If it means that you have to talk to some more people, work a bit more for you to figure that out, that's okay. There's no rush. And then once you decide what you want to study, we have a video on how to choose a program, so you can also watch that for more tips. Once you decide, I have a good idea of what I want to study, let's move on to start looking for school. So how do you search for school? I think it's very easy. You have an idea of what you want to study, you know what you want to study. Let's say, for instance, you want to study Masters in Accounting. Google Masters in Accounting, North America. So at this point in time, it helps to have certain things you're looking for. So if you know you want to study in Canada, then you can look Masters in Accounting Canada. If you know you want to study in Ontario, Masters in Accounting Ontario. The reason I say this is it helps to narrow down your search, because literally once you do a Google search, there are so many schools that will come up with. It's overwhelming. So it helps to shorten or restrict your search somewhat. So if you know somebody, if you want to come to America and you know somebody that lives in New York, or you like the idea of going to school in New York, Masters in Accounting New York, that's just an idea for you. So once you start looking through schools, every school, it might be the same program, but every school is different. Every program is different. Every school is taught, the same program is taught differently, different schools, obviously. So you will need to start looking through the schools to see what you like. You should have certain requirements, and I think I just mentioned it, but we have a video on shortlisting schools, so you can watch that video as well on tips and things we recommend. So for instance, there's certain things you might be interested in. I would talk about curriculum. So if you're interested, if you want to study, if you want to learn, get a particular thing for your degree, or there's certain things you're looking to study, then it helps to go through the curriculum to know what you stand to get out of it. You could also look at the curriculum plan, if maybe there are internships involved, or if you look on the website and the program just looks nice to you, that's one way. I'm not saying that's the only way, but that's one way. For instance, if curriculum is important to you, there are obviously other things that are important to you. You can also reach out to the program director. There's always a contact information of the program director of that particular program. Reach out to them for more information. If there's specific things you want to know that are not always on the website, reach out to them.
And I guess if you're looking for something that is more research based, you want to do PhD after. There are masters that are more research based than internship or practical experience based. So that's something to take into consideration as well.
Yeah, they're professional masters. Yeah, what's your end goal? Determine what your goal is. So with a master's in general, you should know what your goal is, what you stand to gain from your master's. I think that's actually where you start from before you choose your program. Determine what is my goal for once to get this master's. It could be I want to relocate, I want to immigrate, or I want to change careers or something. So that determines what you study and then potentially where you study if you want to go to Canada or America, for instance. So that's a good point. And she also talked about research masters. So research-based masters. There's also there's a distinction between professional masters and research-based masters. So it could be the same degree. For instance, you could be studying communications, and there could be a research-based track where that sets you on the track to going to get a PhD. So that would be more research focused. You'll be expected to do a thesis or a dissertation. Professional masters will focus on professional experiences, internships, learning on the job, stuff like that, or shadowing programs, mentoring programs, and the curriculum might be slightly different. So those are the things you should look out for when you're looking through schools. You could also look at funding opportunities as well. Look at how much tuition costs, and then if the department offers graduate assistantships or some other kind of funding. So those are ways you can kind of shortlist your schools. And then once you look through that, the next thing is to look at the admission requirements. So standard, if you are looking to come to school in America, I don't think a lot of people realize this, but GRE or GMAT is a requirement for almost every school. You would
school does not require it. Nobody.
Well, actually, it depends on the program. Not all programs will require, but almost every school. Some schools make it optional, but they say recommended, but it's optional.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of people saying, I want to go to study in America, but I don't want to write GRE. Then maybe America is not the best place for you because you have to write that GRE. And even some schools have a benchmark or a standard. So you might meet, your GRE score might be maybe 300, and the school you want to apply to requires 315. So that's a way of shortlisting your schools as well. So looking at the admission requirements will help you determine if you meet those requirements and if you should apply there. So you might see a program that you really like, but you don't meet all the requirements. So GRE/GMAT is one requirement. Some schools require TOEFL or IELTS as proof of English proficiency. Not all schools require that, because especially if you're from an English-speaking country. So if you can prove that your transcripts are written in English, or you had your education in English, then they'll waive that requirement for you. So you need to look through the program to see, or look through the website to see if that's waived. Some schools still make it a requirement irrespective. So you need to look at that and determine if you want to write IELTS or not. Then you will look, some schools require what is called a transcript evaluation, which evaluates your transcript and ensures that it's up to American standard, which you pay for as well. So applying to schools, by the time you start going through this process, you realize it's not just time involved in researching, it's also cost intensive, because you are going to be paying, you pay to write GRE, you pay to study, you pay to write IELTS if you really want to, you pay to do a transcript evaluation if you need to. You might decide, I don't want to do this transcript evaluation, so you won't apply to any school that requires that. That's okay, so I'm sure there are other schools that don't require transcript evaluation.
Wouldn't you still always have to weigh your GPA to 4.0 though?
Yeah, you might still need to do that, but I don't need to do an evaluation. An evaluation is a course by course evaluation to see
if you have the requirements.
Yes, so that one you have to pay for. So it's up to you if you want to do that, but if you find a program that you really like and you require it, then you might just have to sacrifice and do that. So that's another requirement as well. Then most schools, obviously standard requirements are related to recommendations. Some schools might have you apply, have your professors or your lecturers or bosses at work fill that online, or have you submit letters. I think most schools do it online now, and most schools will ask you for a transcript. It might be an official transcript where you need your school to send the transcript directly to the school here.
And it's sealed and stamped.
Exactly, sealed and stamped envelope. That means
if it's not sealed,
no interference. So that's additional cost too.
If it's not stamped.
Some schools will require an official transcript where you can upload a scanned copy, but once you get admission, you have to submit the official transcript. So all those are costs, because you have to go to your school, pay for transcript, pay for shipping, pay for all that. So you have to factor all those costs in. Then once you now decide that I found the program I want to apply for, you have to pay the application fee too. So every school has an application fee, and especially for international students, it's always higher. So it could be, I think the lowest estimate is $30, which is very rare. It could be $50 to as high as $100. So you have to factor all those costs into. I personally would advise applying to at least 3 schools to give yourself options. and have and prioritize. So this is have like top 3 schools that you really want to get into and apply to those schools. Then maybe apply to like 5 and the ones that you really want to get into and the ones that just okay, you know. Yeah, if you are studying if you want to study in Canada, for instance, so when you're looking at Canada, you will see that there are colleges and there are universities. Colleges, you typically graduate with a postgraduate diploma, and I'm talking about advanced degrees here. You graduate with a postgraduate diploma, and university you graduate with a master's degree. Now, by Canadian standards, the postgraduate diploma and the master's degree are equivalent, so they are at the same level. So you might be thinking, oh, this one is just a diploma, I don't want a diploma. You can still find a job, you can still find a decent job, and you can still work and live in Canada and immigrate to Canada. So there are like subtle differences. In Canada, you don't need GRE. Some schools, I think some universities will require it, but not all of them do. It's not a core requirement like it is for the US. IELTS is what you really need for Canada. And then I know that like some parts of Canada have like a general application. So like in Ontario, they have what's called the Ontario University application, where you fill one application and it gives you access to a number of schools in the Ontario area. So those are like subtle differences and things you need to consider really when you are applying. But essentially, once you determine that you met all these requirements and you're applying, like I said, apply to like no less than 3 schools, then you submit your application. Another thing I just remembered is personal statements. Most schools require you to submit a personal statement where you need to, like a letter of statement of intent or a personal statement where you talk about why you want to study at that program at that school, and pretty much just defend yourself. But admission is not guaranteed. So based on your background, based on your scores, your undergraduate degree, your personal statements, all of that will help guide the admission committee in making their decision. So once you've applied, then you wait for an admission decision, and then yep, in that period you can now start reaching out to people reaching out to like students or professors, you know, to get better idea of that school if you want. Ideally you should have done that even before you applied, but you can still use this time to, you know, find out more information about the school. Now let's say you get the good news, you get into the school. What comes next? Now you will be required to submit like a declaration of finances or proof of finances, which is where you show that you can pay the school fees for the year. So there's something called an I-20, which is an I-20 is essentially like your visa. as a student, when you come, and this is in America, when you come to the US to go to school, you are given a visa called an F1 visa. That's your student visa. Your I-20 is what you need to get that visa, and your I-20 is what you need to go to the embassy. So you cannot book your visa appointments without your I-20, and you cannot get your I-20 if you don't submit your proof of finances, and you cannot submit your proof of finances if you don't have your admission letter. So does it make sense? So you need to prove that you can pay school fees for at least a year or for the duration of your program, depending on your school. And then typically what you do is like submit a bank statement. Your school might send you a form, like a declaration of finances form. You fill out like how much you're paying, the program you're studying, and all that.
And for those, I think some schools have like a requirement on, you know, you can't just transfer money to a bank account recently or something like that, right?
I don't know. I just know that that amount is to be evident on your bank statements.
Oh, okay.
So you need to be able to show that amount of money on like your raw bank.
Because I know some people they like transfer money from one account into another account and then to just sit down there and then I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I know that I just know that full amount of money has to be shown. It has to be. It depends on the school, but at least the program, like for a year, the cost of a year or the cost of the duration. I don't think the duration of the program is realistic, especially if you're studying for a 4-year program. But I think it depends on the school. My school, I only had to do like duration of 1 year and show that. And even if you are getting funding, by the way, you will still need to show that you can pay the full amounts.
No, you just need to show that you can pay everything less the funding.
In my like for me and for a number of my other friends, I know that when I say funding, like I know I had a tuition waiver, but the embassy does not have a tuition waiver.
So by funding, I'm
prove,
thinking more like scholarship or
loan.
No. If you get a scholarship or loan, you just need to show that you can pay everything less your financial aid.
No, let's clarify. So when I'm talking about funding, I'm talking about like a tuition waiver, for instance. So tuition waiver means you don't pay tuition. You pay like the general fees that are associated with the course or with the school, but you don't pay like tuition, or you have like a cut of the tuition. So I was still required to show, I know this is the same for some other people as well, you still be required to show that you can pay, because what if something happens with the funding and your funding is cut? Does that mean you won't go to school anymore? Because really they are giving you the visa on the condition that you are going to school to study. So, and they don't want a situation where you're in the country where you're not studying. So they want you to be able to prove that you can pay irrespective of whether you have funding or not. So I had to be able to show that amount on my declaration of finances. And don't worry about this, is something that you can talk to the family members. It's just you're raising the funds just to be able to show that, and then you get your I-20, and then once you get your I-20, that whole process takes a couple of weeks, because you have to send your I-20, your declaration of finances to them, then they send you the I-20 before you now book your visa appointment. Now I hear that visa appointments, depending on where you live, it might take a while to get a favorable date. So just factor all of that into your planning as well.
And you need to pay visa fees.
You need to pay visa fee too.
As you need to show up to the embassy with your slip.
So there's something called a service.
Yeah,
you have to pay a
service fee.
All of this is for America. You have to pay a service fee. Yeah.
It's stressful, fam.
So it's
I need to read instruction and like, well.
Yeah, America, you do an interview.
But in America, you need to go for a visa interview. Before you book your visa interview, all of this is at the US visa embassy. So if we miss anything, please go there and go and check, because requirements are always changing. And it's been a while since we've done this as well. But in general, you need your I-20. You need your service proof that you paid your service fee. You need a bank teller is it for the payments of the service?
No, you need proof that you've paid the service.
Proof that so that's your bank teller, and then you obviously need your admission fee, your admission letter. Not your admission fee.
Requirements. Like
your admission letter. I took my declaration of finances there just in case.
Just in case. You can carry
all your documents. Don't take everything, because you don't know who's going to interview you. You don't know what they're going to ask you. But I think in general, they just want to know that you want to come back to your country.
Yeah. And at this point, the visa interview stage, let me just sound warning that you can go through the whole process of application, doing everything right.
And you got no visa.
At that visa application, that visa stage is where everything goes spoiled.
And then America will not say denied. I don't know. Do you have any tips for going through visa?
That would probably have to be another video. Because we can go through the whole, like, several questions they could ask you, your potential, like what you could say. Literally, I think it depends on who is interviewing you. The thing with interviews is very subjective, so it's left to you to defend yourself and prove to them that this is what I want to do in America and I'm going to come back home.
Yeah, I think the goal at the end for them, I'm not a visa interviewer, so I'm not speaking for the US embassy here, please.
But what it seems like,
my own opinion, was what I've read on the internet and based on my visa interview, is they want to know that number one, you're actually going there to study. You're not going there on a student visa to start working or to get a job and just start living in America. No. You're actually going to study, you're going to be enrolled in school, you're going to have a full course load, not a part-time. You're not going in school for part-time, you're going to be in school. And then you're coming back to whichever country you're from. Nigeria, Ghana, wherever. You're coming back, you're not going there as a means to go and sit down.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they know that you can obviously transition into a work visa or whatever. When you get to that stage, you cross it. But for that purpose, visa, at that point, student visa interview, your F1 visa, you need to be able to show that you are coming back to your country.
Yeah. So you need to be able to defend yourself by your responses. So preparing for your visa interview, you have to prepare. Like you do your research and be able to
dress well.
Yeah, dress well. So
don't show up looking sloppy.
How you dress is how you are dressed.
Go formal. Like if I mean, wear like a dress shirt and nice dress pants.
Professional.
Yeah.
Like don't just look like
business casual type thing.
You're going to school. Don't just look sloppy or something. So like. But at this point, hopefully, all goes well. You
cross that bridge.
You get your visa, and then, start talking to your school if you're international students, they'll reach out, a team will reach out to you, orientation team, and start making your travel plans and all that, and you can start getting ready to say goodbye. But
don't
really,
make that mistake of buying your tickets before you go for your visa interview.
Nah, don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh God.
Just, I really, if you actually denied a visa, you can try again.
You can appeal. I know people that have been denied.
You can appeal, or you can go and apply in a different location. It's just like it'll be in the record that you were denied before, but you can go and apply and talk to a different person and see if you can defend yourself again.
Yeah.
So I hope this helps. Having walked through run through.
We ran through this. We actually
there's a lot more that goes into it, but this should give you a very solid high level understanding of the process.
And if you have more questions, reach out to us.
We have consulting services now. Yeah. Another thing I didn't mention was deadlines. So you should, when you're applying to go to school, you should plan according to the deadlines. You don't want to be doing everything at the last minute, and then half of the school you want to apply to, you can't apply to because you missed all that deadline.
An international student deadline is always before the Americans, the citizens. So if you're saying deadline deadline A, B, C, and you're thinking, I can apply C, go read the fine prints on who can apply in deadline C.
And there's also something called priority deadline, where if you want to be considered for
financial aid or anything,
financial aid, you have to
apply by
priority deadline. And the regular deadline will be maybe 3 or 4 months after that.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you meet the priority deadline where you'll be fully considered for all the opportunities.
I think in general, just know the websites of your school, read that thing, you actually studying for your GRE.
Questions.
Read it front, back.
Make sure you do your research.
And make sure you understand what you need to do.
Alright, so hopefully this helps. What we've tried to do is give you a solid understanding, a high level understanding of the process. We, kind of ran through the process, but you should understand everything that goes into it, and some of the things that you might not have thought to consider, you should now have a good understanding of that. So that was really the intent of this video, to guide you into factors to consider when applying to schools in North America. So you can always reach out to us with questions. We have a consulting service now, so we offer this as a service.
We're helping people with their personal statements, helping people applying to school,
the applications,
looking for schools, things to consider. So reach out.
Always reach out, and we're always here for questions. If you have any questions. You know the drill. If you like this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you have any feedback or anything you'd like to add, please reach out, or you can always comment in the comment section. But yes, please send us your feedback. We'd love to know what you thought about this video, and if you'd like to see more videos like this. So
give it a thumbs up.
Alright, it's been a long day. I'm gonna call it.
I'm slightly yawning.
Yeah, but thank you for watching as always.
As always.
Bye.